Say go. There we go.
Okay, here we are.
Back.
I'm back. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for persevering through the hardship and pain.
Yeah, it was a tough week, mentally, physically. So I'm glad that you were able to persevere in the pod and,
Oh my
and
god.
get and keep it going. And here we are again for more fantasy football takeaways.
I I have a back ailment now because I had to do both of the work for both of us. So I I hope it wasn't contagious.
You're
Oh wait,
sore,
here.
and it's
Yeah,
my fault. I get it.
it happens sometimes, but here we are. God damn it. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the Jets and Colts.
Hey, sounds good to me.
I mean that was a good game on Thursday night, right?
Oh yes, very.
And it's funny how like the Michael Carter usage and the Jets were able to put up like 30 points 2 weeks in a row against some like pretty good defenses.
With Josh Jackson.
And and Mike White, like who cares? The point is like Carter's there moving the chains for them. I think is the biggest point.
Oh yeah, Carter. I mean like we were calling him Black CMC, I believe. 23 targets in 2 games prior to this week. He only gets 2 targets this week, unfortunately. But he comes in with the big 37-yard catch, and he also gets 14 carries. No, 13, 14. I don't know the number, but it was a lot of carries. Every running back that was not named Michael Carter got 4 combined. 4 this way. So yeah, he's kind of that guy, but like outside of Tevin Coleman comes back from injury reserve. I mean, not a big deal. Mike Carter's that guy, but like outside of him, anybody on the Jets that you're looking at, I mean, like you can't. Really, you can't.
Not unless you're like desperate dart throw, last minute waiver wire pickup because you got an injury, and like I guess if you have to plug in Jamison Crowder because you have injuries and bye weeks, there you could do worse than that, but that's really about the end of the list.
Yeah. So Elijah Moore has the big game with 2 touchdowns. Crowder or him, like, do you think there's something going forward with them switching?
I mean, you could Yeah, Moore would be like a speculative hold to see like kind of what happens. Maybe like the way Carter's role progressed early on in the season, you can hope that the same happens for Moore over the back half of the season as he gets a little bit more NFL experience under his belt, and that would be a reason to hold Moore. But he's not someone that you feel good about plugging in right now, and probably won't for a couple more weeks at least.
No, yeah. And then so, shit. There's that. Yeah. I mean, Moore has the big game. Him and Crowder kind of have like redundant roles, so I'm not a huge fan of either of them. I mean, like that's not a hot take. They're Jets, but like Carter, it still wheels up. The 2 targets was kind of discouraging, but he made the most of them, and he had a monopoly of carries. So.
And you could say that would be, you can attribute that to like Mike White leaving the game where he was the one that was checking down to the running back 40% of his dropbacks.
Right. Yeah, and then like so that's that side. But then looking at the Colts, it's pretty exciting for a lot of pieces going forward. Do you have anybody that you're like looking for like in particular, or is it just kind of like this offense wheels up overall?
Really for the Colts, Pittman and JT, and then after that it's really spread around. But those are the 2 workhorses.
Yeah. I mean JT, he has a case of RB1 going forward overall. I mean, he has nine touchdowns in the past 6 games. He's averaging 27.5 points per game since week 4, and that's 40 points ahead of the next running back. So he's just dominating. He's, in my opinion, he is RB1. I mean, right there. I mean, at least like worst case scenario, right there with Najee Harris, given that we have no Derrick Henry and CMC didn't get quite the workload that we wanted him to have. So I mean, JT's that guy, but Pittman is no such either. I mean, that guy. Right now, wide receiver 7 overall, a very large catch share, market share. He's kind of the only option. I believe T.Y. Hilton is back from injury reserve. But I mean, just like Tevin Coleman, that is negligible for the young alpha that is Michael Pittman. And then like obviously the guy running it all, Carson Wentz, he's a back end QB1 and will probably be there. I mean, at the very worst, streamable going forward. He's top 12 in passing attempts and top half of the NFL in yards per attempt, and this is all in a run and a generally run heavy game script. So if they do get into a shootout, I mean, he's capable and he has weapons to explode. So I'm a fan of him going forward too.
Yeah, definitely stream worthy. Not something that I'd want to rely on, week to week, but stream worthy for sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on the Colts or Jets, or are you gonna move on?
Nope, we can keep moving. Falcons and Saints. This is for me. This is one of those typical divisional games. Just a tough game through and through. And Patterson, like you noted here, comes out the stud. Like he's just been a dog this year.
It doesn't make any sense. He's 30 years old. He's 220 pounds probably, and he puts up 6 for 126. I don't like. I'm always gonna be behind guys like Patterson, behind on getting ahead of them, I guess, because like it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna be biased. Like he's easily an RB1. I don't know how high he is, but he's easily an RB1. I don't know what kind of value he has because like he's legit playing like the Curl Sammy role in like Ohio State. Like he's not only a running back but he's a receiver. Like he's not either or. Like he's lining up everywhere. He's not a gadget player. He's a full-time player playing both positions, and it's really bizarre. Yeah, like can I get some clarity here on Patterson?
I think what we're having happen in front of us here is like, all right, it's a guy who has been in the league for quite a few years now, right? And he's been learning the game and not taking nearly as many hits as like your general running back would be doing. In other words, staying healthier, staying fresher, and just putting less wear and tear on his body. And now he's able to put all of that knowledge that he's gained over the years into use on, some fairly fresh legs. And it's working out. He's smart enough to take advantage of what the coaches are trying to do.
Yeah.
I think. It's just kind of a perfect storm for him.
Of course, yeah. And so I'm not NFL like historian, but like this has to be one of the most like strange cases of like late career turning into a stud. Like not only in the sense of like he's scoring like a lot of points, but like just how he's doing it. Because like he's always been this player, but he's been it on like four or five touches a game. It's like how do you go from that to like a legitimate workhorse running back and receiver at the same time? Efficiency, like it's so strange at the age of 30. I don't know like what to make of it, but like you're obviously playing him. Like for me, he's more of like a spectacle because like I don't have him anywhere. But like he's definitely interesting, a spectacle. I appreciate him while he's here because like he's very very rare. But I can't really give great advice because I don't know like how you treat a guy like this, other than keep playing him.
Yeah, you have to keep playing him. The usage in the offense dictates that, and there's no reason no personnel changes to make you think that they're going to change what they're doing. I mean, Patterson is the guy that's going to come up with a big play for them. We've seen it week in and week out now, and especially with no Ridley there. I mean, it's really Pitts and Patterson, and that is it.
Yeah, and so speaking of Pitts, he gets another 7 targets. Back-to-back less than stellar performances, but like you're getting 7 targets. He averaged 20 yards a catch this weekend. He's gonna get there more often than not, especially with no Ridley. And given that Russell Gage is so hit and miss, like he puts up a literal dud, like 0. And then I believe he has 11 targets and 8 catches this week. He's gonna be on and off, but yeah, he's a very frustrating own. But I mean, Pitts obviously like keep playing him. He's a fringe league talent going forward, especially with no Kevin Ridley, because he's gonna keep getting those high quality targets.
With the draft capital that you had to invest to get Pitts, you have to play him, and you could roll out worse options because he certainly has one of the higher ceilings at the position.
Let's say you spent a late 4th, early 5th on Kyle Pitts, right? Given given what he's given you and going forward, are you happy with your investment?
I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I'm not disappointed either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just been kind of meh.
Yeah.
He hasn't sunk you completely, but he hasn't really been a boon for you either.
So, going forward, like projecting, do you say you were at least like not pleased with the investment, but like you like 50% outcome? Like, do you think he reaches that if you gave a fourth round pick on him, or do you think he kind of flops a little bit?
No, I would say he's fulfilling like 75% of his value at that ADP is what I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, anything else here, or I mean, like, I know you have so much about the Saints, but like, my God, like, I just can't. I mean, I kind of have the same thoughts as you, so.
Yeah, I mean, all I really wanted to focus on is who can we play we can like trust to play going forward. We know from the Falcons that it's Patterson and Pitts, and if you have to stream Matt Ryan in a good matchup, you know they're going to sling the ball around because they're definitely not running it very much.
Yeah.
So he's viable. And then with the Saints, if you're playing anyone from the Saints outside of Alvin Kamara, it is in pure desperation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially with no MT, this is truly like one of the most heliocentric offenses I've seen ever. Like, it all goes around Kamara. He is our RB1, wide receiver one. He's kind of everything.
Yep.
And he's gonna get there because of that. Most weeks, just off like nothing other than pure volume. I mean, because he is the first, second, third option. But I mean, outside of that, it's kind of ugly. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly, and he's still putting up 20-ish or more points a game.
That's just Kamara.
And then it's like, imagine like in a higher functioning version of this offense, he could just be
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting one to watch. Hopefully he gets through this season unscathed. That would be nice. I think that would be the biggest win.
Exactly. Anything else here, or do you want to move on to Broncos Cowboys?
Yeah, keep going. Broncos Cowboys. This game was pretty cool.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I have a lot of. So, for reference, I own way too much Dallas. No, not way too much. I own a lot of Dallas, which is good because they're great. So I'm watching this game. I own Dak, Ridley Cooper. I'm like hyper focused here. Dak was not good in this game. He missed a lot of throws. Especially CeeDee Lamb. He missed CeeDee Lamb on one surefire touchdown, like 70 yards, and then another one that would have been at least a 40-yard gain, maybe a touchdown. He was missing Cooper on throws. He just didn't look like himself. And like, I'll give credit like where credit's due. Denver looked very solid like on defense. I mean, they were like it was pressure all day, off balance. But like at the end of the day, we have seen Dak do this over and over and over, where he like defies these circumstances and puts up like big numbers. He ultimately like salvages his day with 2 touchdowns to Malik Turner, which is kind of shitty. But yeah, I mean Dak didn't look great. It's not concerning because we've seen him be great all season, very efficient, and we've seen these receivers, Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, play well too. You're just gonna get duds when your offense is so focused around 2 players. So obviously like very disappointing, but like not concerning long term. It was just Dak didn't look great, but I expect him to bounce back really. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just the rust after a few weeks off with the injury and the bye, and he, to me, like when he just looked a little off. I'll just say it, rusty, but if you want to be more technical, when I was watching him throw those, particularly the deep balls, he was really pulling out of his throws and dragging his arm behind, which is going to leave, if you're a baseball guy, that's going to leave the ball high arm side. Or in football terms, short if you throw it too high, or too long if you get underneath of it. You're just going to be off. So that's just what I saw from Dak. I think that he will pick that up in video, and he'll make corrections, and he'll be fine. They'll also come up with like a better game plan, I think, to help him get into a better groove, where he was he didn't have like that stretch where you normally see Dak in a game 7, 8, 9 completions in a row, sometimes more.
Yeah.
You didn't see that from him this Sunday. I think that they're going to maybe emphasize something along those lines with the game plan for next Sunday.
Yeah, and for an injury that was supposed to be like he's out there next week. He actually misses last week with with the calf strain. Obviously, like one more week of recovery and just like I expect him to be back to like Dak form next week. So I'm not concerned. Especially, I believe it's a good matchup. I don't know exactly who it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a solid matchup. So yeah, I mean like Will's up like for the offense. It's just like pretty unfortunate that happened. So yeah, I mean, any thoughts on Denver?
Jerry Jeudy back in the lineup. It's for the second week. I think he's back to game speed now. He looked good out there, creating good separation, and that spelled bad news for Cortland Sutton, who only drew the one target, or at least only had the one grab.
Yeah,
and
one big grab, right? It wasn't like a big touchdown though.
No, that was Patrick.
Oh yeah, bro. Patrick went crazy that day. My God.
He did. He was playing hard. Took a few tough hits. Had to leave the game for a little bit and came back, and seemed to be okay afterwards. So he's probably still fine. And another safe flex play. I mean, one of the best flex plays you can have. And then like I was saying, Jerry Jeudy. He's gonna be safe target wise, and I think is a safe play going forward. I think that, and then they have Washington. No, they have a good matchup at home. I think this week.
Next week, okay, yeah, sweet. Yeah, and then so like, I mean, this is just like last second thing, but Albert O comes in relief of Noah Fant. He kind of had his, I believe, 3 grabs for like 30 yards or whatever. Wasn't a great game, but he's gonna be streamable just because he's essentially a Noah Fant clone with less talent, with like body type and like measurables. So if he's getting the same opportunity, he's gonna produce Noah Fant-esque numbers. I mean, like, not as great, but he's streamable, just for like volume if Fant is gone. So I thought I'd like throw it out there.
Yeah, he's always been a pass-catching tight end, so it makes sense for him to just keep progressing as long as he's getting work in the NFL level, like him going forward, especially for like long-term prospects. Dynasty for sure. And then the last part of the Broncos, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is okay, but you're really not even, if you don't want to stream him, and he's just like a low-end QB2 for me. So then the last piece would be the running game. When both guys get over 20 totes, Davonte gets his first 100-yard game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both viable now, RB2s.
Yeah. But like, I mean, like we've been saying all year, like, this isn't going to be a one-man show. Like, these are 2 solid backs. And, like, Javonte looked great, but, I mean, like, Melvin Gordon has some good runs too, Like,
right.
It's not like there's a clear, like, this talent is superior to the other one. There's never going to be a true RB1 here, but they're all going to be viable. And, I mean, that's how it's going to be, I think, all year. So, yeah.
Pretty much. And that's okay. I mean, that has its place. As long as you understand what that is, it's usable.
Yeah.
And that's cool. You want to keep rolling?
Yeah, for sure.
Pats and Panthers.
Great.
Yeah, talk about your boy Mac, man. I mean, it's pretty awesome to see what they're doing with him, and he's just, executing and looks. He's not like setting the world on fire, but that's okay. He doesn't have to right now. He just has to stay within himself and do what coach says.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these Pats look great right now. They look great. I believe they won 4 of 5. So I mean, like, obviously with the Pats, you're starting with the running game. 3 backs with 8+ carries. Damien Harris scores again. I think I think he scored 5 out of 6 games. But I mean, he's been great. He wasn't really efficient, but like that, I mean, he scored. So like, what are you gonna do? Stevenson, Bolden, him all get 8+ carries. Bolden fumbles, which is always good if you're a Damien Harris fan, because you don't want touches for the for the other backs. They all get at least 1 target. It was a pretty split game, but like Harris was also beat up, banged up, and it was like not really a close game that much. So like there was an incentive for him to, like get back out there. Going forward, I mean Harris, he's gonna keep being playable as long as he's there. I mean he's been banged up all year. Like whether it's head, shoulder, knees, toes, it doesn't matter. He's had it, but I mean he gets back out there. He's never gonna catch passes, but he scored in five of 6 games. He's very efficient on the year, and I mean, if this defense is gonna play like this, and this offense with Mac Jones is gonna keep humming, I mean, he's gonna be viable. So there's that, and then last thing, Hunter Henry is nearing a must start. Once again, he scored in 5 of 6 games too, and on a very low volume attack, he's the only guy that you want, especially with Johnny's shoulder like bothering him. I mean, in a very thin tight landscape, you could do far worse than Henry weekly. So those are my 2 notes from that game.
Yeah, I'll take the Panthers here and just say like you can't, you have to play DJ Moore, you have to play CMC if they're starting and they're in the game. But I mean, Darnold nearly got all the wide receivers killed. Leading them into a defender or CMC. I mean, he's gonna get volume. He got some more volume. It wasn't didn't lead to a lot of production, but you have to play him. And same goes for DJ Moore. You have to play him as long as he's out there. Outside of that, you just kind of avoid these Panthers right now until they figure things out. But because that was really ugly, and it's been ugly for a few weeks now. I don't know what it's going to take to fix things. The trade deadline has passed. You know, it's just going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. I don't know where they're going to go from here.
Yeah, I mean, this has certainly been shitty. CMC comes back. He has like 1 point all game, and then he has one big drive, and then 1 point all game. He's going to be fine going forward because he's the best asset ever. I mean, at best right now, he's RB3 going forward behind JT and Najee. I mean, like, at absolute best. But, I mean, we've seen these injuries pile up for him now, whether it's, like all kinds of, because, like, I mean, like, guys like him aren't supposed to get this work. Like, and they never will. He's not big enough to, like, handle this, and he's been getting fed for years and years and years. So, like when he's out there, you can project him for more than probably anybody. But, his rest season value is lower than other backs because it's dangerous for him to play. Because I mean, he's gonna get a hamstring, he's gonna get an ankle. Like this happens to smaller backs, and it's hard to see a world where CMC is playing like every game in the season going forward ever. So yeah, I mean, like, he's great obviously, and so is DJ Moore. But I mean, for different reasons, I'd be wary of them.
Right. I agree. We definitely can't keep looking at particularly CMC through the same lens that we have for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yep. Is it Vikings Ravens?
Vikings and Ravens.
Okay.
Man,
I have a funny story about this game.
Okay.
So I'm in Minneapolis. Big news. And I'm at a sports bar. So it's parent weekend for the year right now, so everyone comes up. It's all the parents, and obviously I have like 27 hours of studying to do in one day. Not possible. Mom's like, hey yo, let's hang out. I'm like, oh, I gotta say yeah, okay. So mom comes up and we go to a sports bar. It's like 1:30 or so, and I'm like, oh wait, the Viking game's on, right? So we walk into the sports bar. I'm looking for the Cowboys game because I'm like, I have all these players in the Cowboys, but there's literally, I counted them, 14 TVs all playing the same game. This is insane. I don't know why I was doing it, but I walk in, 25 Viking jerseys. The fucking waitress had a Viking jersey. I was like, oh, I'm out of place. So I have my buff streams here playing the fucking game right here, playing the Cowboys game. But I was in the environment, right? And so I feel like I have a pretty good pulse on where the Vikings fans are at. Hine, I don't know his name, but he was RB6 of this class. It was really bizarre when he was picked, but he was like a side speed specimen. He takes a kick to the house, which was cool. That's not relevant, but like it was cool because it was like a cool reaction. Yeah, I mean there's that. But like on to the analysis, Justin Jefferson has the big game. He shows why he's a top 5 dynasty receiver easily, and he's going forward. He's going to be a wide receiver 1 for like years to come because he just breaks big plays. I mean, like that. Adam Thielen scores, I believe. when doesn't he score? He's great.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you can't stop Lamar Jackson. This guy's an absolute stud. Just, my God, incredible to watch.
Insane. We're gonna see 55 rushing attempts for the Ravens combined. Like, and Lamar had 21 of his own. And he throws in 266 passing yards just for fun, just because he can, and a few touchdowns. Hollywood Brown is Lamar's boy. They drive to and from the games together, practices together. They get McDonald's together.
I'm sure they do.
They by Brown now in Dynasty. He's going to keep getting targets from Lamar Jackson. And now that they got Bateman out there drawing some coverage over the middle, Marquise can stay a little healthier and hopefully extend what he's doing. I mean, I really like his Dynasty outlook because I think not only for the friendship connection with Lamar, the on-field connection has built. He's gotten better as a player, and the addition of Bateman, the team is passing more. They don't have a running game right now, really. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson and who allows these crips of Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman to look good because Lamar is so dynamic with the football. Yeah, and I mean, so like, I don't know. I like where this team is going, and Marquise Brown is a huge part of that.
Yeah, and okay, it's not like running backs matter at all, but looking forward, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, Lamar, all young, and then a healthy J.K. Dobbins going forward. I mean, that's going to be, because you have 55 rushing attempts with the stars of yesterday. Like, if you can get a legitimate talent, and like it'll be marginal because like he is a running back, but like it's just that much better. Like this offense is nearly unstoppable with nothing back there. If you get like one knee of J.K. Dobbins in there, like that offense is that much better. Yeah, it's very scary for the league. I mean, like it has been, but like we're seeing it weekly, just these big games from Lamar, and it's great. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Can't wait to see him get some young running backs back there again. That's going to be exciting. And then my only notes for the Vikings, you already talked about Jefferson and Thielen a little bit, and I just want to bring up Conklin getting 7 more targets at the tight end position is something that you should just at least mention because you need targets at that position sometimes, and he keeps getting them. Not leading to a whole lot of production, but PPR wise, you could do worse than five grabs.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Rudolph was always viable as a streamer. So's Conklin. I don't know, like I mean that's just how it is for these like tertiary options on these very consolidated target shares,
Yeah. It's just kind of I don't know. It was weird because Cousins wasn't using the tight end for the last few years. He didn't really use even the more athletic Irv Smith.
Yeah.
But then Conklin, for some reason, he likes to throw it to. And he doesn't seem to be like any different than Kyle Rudolph would have been.
Right. And it's like the same thing for like Dalton Schultz. Like that man is like he's a nobody. Like he really is. Like he's not a good player. There's nothing good about him. But like all of a sudden he's like right there with like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper in targets. It's like how? Like how does this happen? But sometimes you don't question it. You just got to go for it.
Yep. So there's another example. Keep on rolling. Browns and Bengals.
Okay. So the 1 week I played Jamar Chase in DFS, he bust. That's my only no. I'm just kidding. I mean that was really unfortunate. I mean Chase is still gonna be a stud going forward. I believe T Higgins had a pretty big game. He's a stud. But I mean the guy here was Joe Mixon. I mean he went crazy. I didn't know the stat. I think it's from week 4 on. He's been RB4 maybe. I don't know. He's been very solid. This is kind of like the culmination of everything going right, of Gio leaving, of him being healthy, a better offense, better team. It's kind of all culminating into a top 5 year for him. So I mean going forward, I don't know if there's 5 backs I'd rather have than him. I mean especially with no Derrick Henry. He's been great. This team is a lot better than we thought. So I mean you can pencil him in for a very robust protection every week. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Mixon is almost getting the kind of production, or like not production, I'm sorry, usage that we want, or that like we were drafting CMC for.
Yeah.
Right? He's getting like 18, 20 touches a game, especially like when there's no health concerns, he's definitely getting that workload. So, I mean, I've always believed in his talent, and his injury history has been the thing that worries me about him. But he's getting through it this year, and so the talent is shining.
Yeah.
And
then
go ahead. You got something else? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just like on the Browns, I mean, Nick Chubb. I mean, just like if there's gonna be no Kareem Hunt, and like it goes both ways, but like if there's no Kareem Hunt, it's just like he's the weekly RB1 likely. I mean, just like he's gonna get fed, and he's gonna explode. I believe Hunt is still on IR, so like, I mean, next week just wheels up. I mean, like you knew that, but it's gonna be special. Cause like when the offense is so focused and built around two backs and one of them's gone, it's just like law of I don't know what that is, but it's a law that is being broken, and it's like, damn, it's fire. So yeah,
Chubb is just like, he's the one guy from this team that you can safely put in your lineups if you don't really want to play Baker, or you don't want to play any of the receiving options, because I mean, even the safest one, Jarvis Landry, can do what he did this game and have, what did he have, like 4 yards or something, like weird. Yeah. So Chubb is the guy, and even I mean, and then when Hunt comes back, then you have two guys, but for now it's only Chubb.
Yeah. And then obviously I need to like plug myself. So when I was doing draft breakdowns, I was like, Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's worthy of more than a 6th-round pick, and it's because guys that are very athletic and have talent coming out of high school, they make plays like that where they just break the defense open for like 50 yards. And even if he's not relevant in fantasy, he's very relevant like to the Browns, especially with no OBJ. Yeah, just like, I mean, going forward, if any NFL team is watching, which is very likely, if a guy is talented in high school and is athletic, you can explain some things in college, like whether it's quarterback play competition, like shit happens in college. But like if you're talented from high school and you're athletic, it's gonna work out. And it happened with like DPJ here, and it's gonna keep happening because he's a stud. So he's not necessarily like relevant yet, but I mean, you could do worse than like keep an eye on him, because with no OBJ, I mean, that's a talented kid that's gonna get targets. So
someone to watch.
Yeah. So, is it on to Bills Jags here?
Bills and Jags, which
there's nothing.
Nothing to say other than throw this game out. Nobody can get anything going. It was just bleh.
So I was on NFL.com, and like there's like headlines for like each game. It's like, this guy does this, obscure stat here. It was like, Trevor Lawrence is the second quarterback to beat the Bills in the Sean McDermott era as a rookie. The other one was Sam Darnold. I'm like, he scored 9 points. Like, how
didn't get a touchdown?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't win. He was there on the field, present for the win. Like, it was the other Josh Allen that won the game. Like, I don't. Yeah, it was shit. Yeah,
just one of those games. Like you throw it to the side and you move on and understand that there's not anything really to take away.
Yeah. So Texans Dolphins. Tua has a broken finger, so immediately you're like, okay, Texans defense fire, and then you hear the Texans and you're like, oh my God, whoever they're playing defense fire. They combined for 35 points. Defenses.
Amazing.
Yeah, that like. I mean, like, you see big games from like teams that like, I mean, like the Pats like a couple years ago, like they were crazy, but like collectively, like that's that's just rare. Like 17 points, 18 points. Like, I doubt that's ever, like, I'm okay. Like, it has happened, but like there hasn't been 5 times in the history of the NFL where there's been like 2 teams that defense. I don't know. It was crazy.
It was certainly rare, and what I found even more weird was Tua being like on the field as the backup, even though he had the broken finger and wasn't starting. So it was like if Brissett got hurt, then then it's okay for him to play with a broken finger.
Oh yeah,
then I don't. Okay. That's just weird. Gaskin getting a lot of opportunities still. As long as Malcolm Brown is sidelined, he's safe to plug in for some volume. He's gonna have that floor there. Not a whole lot of ceiling, but he could pop.
Yeah, and so Gaskin is a guy, he's like Cordell Patterson, but like each week he chooses one of his attributes, so it's like rushing or receiving. Yeah, like he's had big games on the ground, big games like through the air. He finally scores on the ground here, but I mean, with a guy like that is capable of contributing in both ways. I mean, he's worth a start. Like most weeks. It's obviously a bad team, and with no Tua, it's a putrid offense. But like, I mean, Gaskin is probably the one guy there that you can say, okay, I'm plugging him in.
Yeah, him and Gesicki. Waddle has been pretty safe, but he's viable to disappear, or liable to disappear. Where Gesicki's actually turned out to be pretty much safer than Waddle, which is funny. Even though didn't have a great game this past week, but he didn't kill you. So they're okay. Not great, but they give you a little something. And you know that Devontae Parker's out for at least 3 weeks. And then on the Texans side, even with Tyrod, Cooks didn't have a huge game, but still the only guy that you want to even think about starting on that team. And they probably should just go back to Davis Mills now. I mean, might as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get much worse than that. I mean, like Tyrod had played well like the first couple of games of the year, but yeah. You see what you got, I guess. Moving on to the Raiders and the Giants. I have a couple numbers like on the Raiders. So I mean, like you were saying, Hunter Renfrow, he's like the Cole Beasley, just a little bit worse, like historically. He's gonna be playable, especially in good matchups where like whether Darren Waller's out or like Brian Edwards. Like if there's an injury that can give him a boost, like like at that point he's startable. So I mean like there's that. Josh Jacobs, very consistent. He's a high-end RB2 whenever he plays because he's gonna get there somehow. He always has, always will. Darren Waller shows why he's the tight end 2. He's like started off slow, but I believe he had double-digit targets this game. So ends up with a big game there. He's still a very elite asset. But I mean like outside of that, I don't have much on the Giants. It was kind of shitty. Yeah. Anything there for you?
I think the only thing that I wanted to mention is that I think Drake got to 100 yards on 10 touches.
Yeah.
And Jacobs continues to play hurt or be limited throughout the week during practice, and then come out Sunday and leave multiple times in the game. Drake is someone that you want to have on your roster going into the end of the season, who probably going to get a few games to himself.
Yep. Yeah, and so we saw Jacobs miss a game, and the only thing that I would like caution there is Peyton Barber came in and assumed the Josh Jacobs role, where he just absorb all these touches. So it's still unclear if Drake is going to be like the handcuff. I'm not gonna fear the handcuff if Jacobs like misses time, but like I mean, regardless, he has played a very big complementary role and will continue to be viable in deeper leagues as a flex, even with Jacobs available. So yeah.
My only thing that I would add is that Barber did take over when Gruden was still there, and he's gone.
Oh, okay.
And Barber's been hurt, and since the new head coach has been calling plays or whatever since the change, Drake has gotten more touches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that they paid him money, they might as well use him. I think maybe that's what they're thinking. That's what I would be thinking.
Yeah. I mean, anything there, or are we on to Chargers Eagles?
Yeah, let's keep rolling. We got everything out of the way. I mean, there's not much to say about New York. We know who we can play over there.
Devontae Booker.
Devontae Booker is going to get the volume, and that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Jones is streamable. Still, I guess, but he doesn't have any weapons, so it's probably want to hesitate a little bit there. So yeah, we can move on. Chargers and Eagles, and the thing that I would say about the only thing, I didn't get to see much of this game, very few plays, but it seemed like so like the Eagles can like score now, which is like weird because like they didn't really like to do that early in the year.
Yeah.
And like they love Dallas Goedert. He's getting just like so many looks, and or like especially first looks, first reads. 3-4 plays in a row that going to Goddard. I don't know, like I don't know what that really means when this team has been so Jekyll and Hyde and like hard to get a beat on, and like when I don't even think they don't even know who they are. So it's just kind of hard to trust anybody on this team. But I guess what I'm trying to say is Goddard would be the one that I could trust the most. Outside of Hurts, of course.
Yeah, for sure. The two other things to know about this team. So Davonte Smith has the big game. It was largely off the back of a big touchdown, but I mean he gets 6 targets once again. He has a pretty high target share. He's playable. It's just going to be hit or miss because I mean this is a very low passing volume offense. But I mean he's still a flex wide receiver 3 with lots of upside. I mean obviously he's very talented. But I mean the guy here, the pickup of the week perhaps is Jordan Howard somehow. I mean he scores. I don't know what world we're in where Jordan Howard and Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell are all talked about on this podcast, but we're here and Jordan Howard were the pickup, so that's all I could say. Yeah.
It's like running backs don't matter, right? I mean,
no. If you can run and you're willing to get hit, right there, sign up, So
pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Chargers. Keenan Allen continues to, draw mass targets, and as he should with the route running that he does. And Mike Williams, I mean, the sell high window has been closed. Would you say?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we're cool.
Yeah. They aren't operating on the same octane that they were earlier in the season, but they're still a good offense. And, like we were talking about a few weeks ago, when defenses start to catch up and fantasy points become a little more limited, these good offenses are going to be the ones that you want pieces of, the good, and then those talented assets that are a part of them continue to be the fantasy assets that we need to rely on. Keenan Allen, Davonte Adams, Aaron Jones, these guys that are going to get volume because the talent says they are the ones that need to get the ball for you to win.
Yep. And I mean, like, at this point I've seen enough. I like Williams, Allen, Eckler, they're all must starts every week, and like they're gonna fluctuate. I mean, like Eckler didn't have a great game here, but like they're gonna fluctuate, and it's not gonna be pretty like all the time for them. But like in the grand scheme of things, you're looking at 2 wide receiver 1's fringe and an RB1. So I mean, keep playing them, and good things will happen. When the offense is so elite and so consolidated between 3 players, it's just goodness for them. So.
Yep.
And then, oh my God! So is it Packers Chiefs next?
It is, and I did the alluded to them a little bit already with Davonte Adams, Aaron Jones, and that's it. It ends there. I mean,
Davonte Adams has 14 targets for a 41% target share, and still has only 10 points because Jordan Love is awful.
And I think he only had like 3 or 4 targets going into like halfway into the third quarter.
Yeah,
or maybe even the start of the fourth.
Yeah, and then it was best player get the ball, and like it makes sense. It's just Jordan Love did not look good. He didn't look ready. It was not great. You're obviously like starting Tay, and he's gonna be an elite play, a high end wide receiver 1 with Jordan Love, even because he's getting this volume. But like, it's just so empty compared to like 10 targets from A-Rod versus 14 from Jordan Love. It's like it's not even close,
Right. but it's nice to see him at least still get that volume. And despite Rodgers being out, you know that like it's still a fairly safe play, and you'll hope that the talent wins out and gets you some more points there. But you could do worse.
Yeah.
And then on the Chiefs side, again, I living here close to Denver, I've been getting a lot of Chiefs games, so I've been watching Mahomes all year, and it just looked like more of the same, man. More of the same. He's running around for his life a lot. I feel like he's doing too much. He's just trying to do too much.
Yeah. When Mahomes had that one stinker, I was like, look at him. Like he has a career high in passing attempts. He'll be fine. But he's had like 3 stinkers in a row, which is obviously not characteristic, but like unprecedented for a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's strange. He has theoretically the same pieces that he has had. It's just, yeah, it's weird, and it's concerning if you own Mahomes now. I mean, at this point, you are very concerned. But yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, other than this is very strange, and I don't have as much confidence as I did in him. I mean, even last week, even last week it was like, okay, like 2 weeks in a row, who knows? But 3 weeks of bad play in a row for Mahomes for like fantasy purposes, yeah, just never happened before. So
yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, you have to keep playing him. You have to keep playing. You're definitely playing Hill and Kelsey, but now like those ancillary pieces that you wanted to be someone that you could rely on, hopefully, now become much more question marks. The Mecole Hardmans of the world. You can't play him at all.
Yeah. And I mean, like you were saying, AJ Dillon, he got targets here. He got carries. He's had games where he's gotten like either or. He's gonna get touches in a good offense. It's not gonna be much because we're looking at Aaron Jones and Davonte Adams. But like going forward, definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And if you're very, very desperate in a deeper league, you could put him in as a very desperate RB2, just for some points.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's exactly it. He's going to get touches. We've seen it every single game. It's not a ton, but it's some work on a good offense. So
you could do worse.
You could do worse, but for bye weeks and injuries, you got to do some stuff. So we got 5 minutes and 2 games. You want to knock them out?
Let's try it. Sure, yeah.
Let's go. The only thing I really wanted to say about the 49ers and Cardinals is that Mitchell looks like he's in Shanahan's good graces, and he is just going to be the starter going forward. He got some targets this game, which is very encouraging. Kittle really killed Debo's ceiling here, and the Chase Edmonds injury just means that much more work for Connor, who is probably going to score like 5 touchdowns next game based on the amount of touches he'll get, right?
Yeah. So quick notes. I'm playing Brandon Ayuk next week. I don't know why, but I am. George Kittle tied in 3 rest of the season. He's back up there with the big 3. All I need to see. Debo's fine. Mitchell's a stud. James Conner, legit weekly top 5 running back without Chase Edmonds. We saw him in Pittsburgh, but it's like this version of James Conner with a better offense. He's great. Once Kyler gets back and Hopkins, they'll be fine, but like, who knows when. But yeah, that's about it. Moving on to Titans-Rams, next game, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll say real quick my notes. So, A.J. Brown is probably one of the last buy lows that is possible. He gets 11 targets and only 9 points. And so, buy him if you can, but before the deadline. Bobby Trees is actually wide receiver 6 since week 4, even though he's been kind of quiet and overshadowed by Kupp. He's been solid. Higbee has been solid too, getting targets on a good offense. He's viable. Anything else about your Rams?
Yes. Van Jefferson. Now that the Deshaun Jackson experiment's over, he's out of town, we really got this wide receiver tree down to 3. Kupp's the wide receiver 1, possibly in the league. Woods is always going to have potential to score because he's on a good offense. He's going to get at least 6 looks a game. He might get a carry here or there. He's good with the ball in his hands. He's a good asset to have. He didn't turn out to be what we wanted and what we thought about he would be at draft season, but that's okay. He's still a good asset. And now Jefferson, you throw him in the mix. He's getting those same 5 to 6 looks, but he's also getting the deeper looks. He's gotten at least 1 deep shot a game, if not 2. You can hang your hat on that, and I think that's particularly interesting in a DFS format, because he's been fairly priced and often cheap in most slates. Throw him in there when you need, a salary saver, and he's gonna have some boom potential built in.
Yeah, that's it, right?
That's really it. I think we nailed it. Your Steelers pulled it out 29-27.
Oh really? Oh, I was just gonna check that. Wow.
I just checked. I don't know how it ended, but 29-27.
I would get a game to end the week too. I mean, it was solid when it wasn't close, and then the Bears have a big comeback, and it was just enjoyable. I mean, from like what I saw at least. So.
Wow, the Bears put up 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Shout out Bears.
Freiermuth with 2 touchdowns. That's pretty awesome. I played him.
Did you really?
I did in my big league because the Washington is on bye, and I've been rocking the Logan Thomas and Ricky Seals-Jones slot all year.
As you should, yeah.
As and it's been great. But I had to pick him up. I picked up Muth for the bye, and he put up 20 points.
Did you win?
I did.
Yes, sir. There we go. Well, record rundown real quick of that league. What's going on?
So that's the one where we went wide receiver heavy early. Adams, Ridley, and McLaurin.
Yeah.
So Ridley's gone. McLaurin's on bye. I played Elijah Mitchell, Damian Harris, and Darrell Henderson.
Okay.
And then Davonte Adams and Van Jefferson, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And I won 140 to 108.
Well, there we go. We have like 5 seconds, so thank you for coming, obviously. It's great, obviously, seeing you. I appreciate you coming back, and next week will be great. So.
One love.
That was fucking sick. That was like a movie. Oh my god, that was beautiful. Yeah. Anyways, talking about the Steelers, is it still on? I hope it is. Yeah. Talking about the Steelers and the Bears, I think Stick would reflect the same sentiment. Here, I'm gonna put on something. What am I gonna do? Put on shout out this guy right here. Anime rapper. No, I'm just kidding. But what the hell? Anyways, so Justin Fields did not look bad at all. He just the offense is so clearly capped by the play calling, and they're very inept. It's kind of shitty. I kind of felt bad for him. Big Ben just isn't. He doesn't have it. Najee Harris, probably RB2, maybe RB1 rest of the season. Keep playing Deontay. He's a stud. But I mean, Justin Fields did not look bad. It's very sad seeing Al Robinson just go out there and run routes and not get targeted. That kind of sucks. But besides that, I feel like we had to end it quick. But I mean, shout out Stickman. Shout out Stickman. He's great. I think we figured out what was wrong so we can get back to it, every week. It was quick, it was great. So see you later.